How's it going, guys? Shane here from the GnG Elite DBS team, and today we're going to take a look at my personal top 10 cards from Clash of Fates, which, if this goes up when I think it will come out tomorrow. So going ahead and knowing what cards will be good and what cards to pick up is very important heading into a set. Granted, sometimes it can be hard to assess how powerful cards will be. Some people are better at it than others, and that's just kind of the way things are. Though, by at least attempting to figure out how strong some cards are, even if you get it wrong, you will eventually get better by practice. So that's what we're going to do today. I could be way off, however, I could be right. But either way, even if I'm off, I'm still practicing, so I'm going to get better at it in the long run. So, without further ado, let's take a look at my personal top 10 cards from Clash of Fates. So, coming in at number 10, we've got Final Showdown Son Goku. So, out of all the big boss monsters, I think he's kind of the best. A lot of people were hyped for the Frieza. However, the fact that the Frieza only triggers once per turn and could be blown on something like an energy boosted Majin Buu and then not activate on the next card they play, which could be their bomb, feels really bad. Now, this Goku is double strike 25,000, so magic number. Auto, when a Krillin card with an energy cost of 4 or more in your battle area is KO'd by your opponent. If your leader card is green or black, play this card from your hand and you can't play Final Showdown Son Goku for the duration of the turn. So, he comes into play by a 4-cost or more Krillin being KO'd by your opponent. There's 2 4-cost Krillins in this set, one of which is a blocker, which will essentially force your opponent to kill it, and one is a 15,000. While he's in rest mode, I believe it is, your opponent can't attack your leader card, they have to attack your battle cards. Kind of the same thing, forces them to attack it, and he's only 15k, so they will kill it, allowing you to play this card for free. And then when you play this card from your hand, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. Removal that ignores barrier is very good. And this card's not limited to his little niche archetype like a lot of cards are from these types of sets. Since he can be played with any green or black leader, I can see this being pretty good. You know, he can be played in Shenron and other things. Now, it is worth noting, there is a Gohan in the set that lowers the cost of the Krillins in your hand by 1. So you could play the Gohan turn 2, play the Krillin turn 3, and then start cheating this guy into play. So I could see this seeing some play. It may not be great, but I definitely think the card has potential and is worth looking at. Coming in at number 9, I have Tora's Red Armband. Another one of these archetype heavy hitter cards. So it's a 4-cost extra card. Activate main. If your leader card is a Bardock's Crew card, choose one blue Tora card in your drop area and send it to your warp. Draw 4 cards, choose up to one Final Strike Bardock in your battle area and switch it to active mode, and it gets plus 10,000 power and double strike for the duration of the turn. At the end of the turn, choose up to one of your energy and switch it to active mode. So, you're paying 4 energy to draw 4 cards. That's already pretty good. That's a lot of cards. Then you get to take your Final Strike Bardock, who's already a heavy hitter. He's either 20 or 25k. And then you're going to give him double strike, and then that Bardock has an effect that says when he switches from rest mode to active mode, you get to take a card from your opponent's hand, and I believe it's put it back in the deck. Either way, it gets a card out of their hand. That's what's important. So I can see this card being insanely good. In that Bardock's Crew deck, the Bardock is very easy to cheat into play early. So you can just start spending your energy on this and drawing a butt ton of cards. Like, a lot. And as we know in Dragon Ball, having a big hand can just alone win you games because your opponent's never going to be able to kill you. Coming in at number 8, I've got Frieza's Army Healing Pod. This is a 1-cost field card with auto once per turn. When you play a green battle card from your drop area, draw 1 card. Seems good. So in decks like Shenron, where you're playing maybe the hand control variant, you're going to be playing a bunch of green cards. Every time you Child's Wish or World Peace a green battle card from the discard pile, you draw a card. Seems good. Activate main, 2 green and 2 colorless. Place this card in its owner's drop area, choose up to one battle card with an energy cost of 4 or less from your drop area, and play it. So, and you're in a pinch and you need to get something out of your discard pile and you don't have any way to get to it, this gives you a way to get to it. So not only is it going to net you advantage, it's also going to offer you another out. And I think that's very good, and I expect this card to see a fair amount of play. Number 7, we have Frieza Army Reborn. This is the secret rare from this set, so it does have ultimate, meaning you can only play 1 in your deck. Has quadruple strike. It is an 8 cost, but when your life is at 2 or less, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3, so it becomes a 5 cost. It's more than manageable. And for a 5 cost, it's really powerful. So, auto, when you play this card, your opponent reveals their hand, chooses the 1 card from your opponent's hand, place it in the drop area, and then choose all of your opponent's battle cards with 40,000 power or less, ignoring barrier, and KO them. So, granted, your life has to be at 2 or less for him to cost 5. You're probably never going to cast this card for 8. So, you have to go to 2 and survive. That can be tough. However, when you play him, you get to look at your opponent's hand. So now you can immediately assess your opponent's situation. And with something that's 40,000 base triple or quadruple strike, you can just look at their hand and already know, alright, I'm going to win this turn. That's insanely good. That's one of the big reasons why Hit is so good, is because it looks at your opponent's hand. And you get to take a card from it. So if you look at their hand and you think you can kill them, you just take Super Combo and you attempt to kill them. And you should succeed if you're taking that risk. Then the fact that it KOs all of your opponent's battle cards at 40,000 power or less, ignoring barrier, it just wipes their whole board. Essentially just wipes everything. It's insanely good. I think people are very much sleeping on this card, and I see it being a staple in red-heavy decks, or mono-red decks, essentially. Like, I could even see red-blue decks or red-yellow decks that are only trying to charge 1 blue or 1 yellow, playing this, because if they get to turn 6, say after a Chain Zeno or something, which is more than possible, they can just play this card and win the game. I think this card's very good, and if this card ends up being a $10, $15 secret rare, like, say, the World Martial Arts Tournament, Son Goku at Oopsies of the Future, would 100% pick this card up, because I think it's going to be very good. Next up, at number, what is it, 6? 10, 9, 8, 7, yep, number 6, we have Preemptive Strike. This is a 2-cost green extra card. Counter play, if your leader card is green and the battle card your opponent is playing has an energy cost of 4 or less, it is placed in your drop area instead of being played. So this is another counterspell type card that we've finally gotten. Originally, for the longest time, all we've really had is Cold Bloodlust. However, Cold Bloodlust still allowed the card to be played. This card doesn't even allow it to be played. So they don't get the autos, they don't get any effects from the card, it just goes immediately to the drop area. Now, it does only hit cards that are 4 or less, so it's not going to hit big bombs, like it's not going to hit a, I don't know, Kefla or a Final Showdown Son Goku or something like that. However, it does give decks like Super 17 an out to whatever you're trying to play to keep tempo with them. Like, they can go into their Super 17 chain, awaken, untap 2, keep this up, and stifle your turn, and then just get further ahead. And that's why I think this card's going to shine, is in Super 17. Next up, number 5, we have Newfound Power Purunga, one of the few black cards in this set. He is a 3-drop 20k. Permanent, this card can attack. Of course, it's a Shenron battle card. Activate main, switch this card to rest mode. So that's relevant. In order to use his effects, he has to switch to rest mode, which gives your opponent an opportunity to kill him. It's unfortunate, but makes it somewhat balanced. It is also worth noting, as a 20k, he can't be Child's Wished. So, unfortunate. But he'd probably be a little too good if he could be. If your leader card is a black Shenron card, you get to choose one, so he can only be played in the black Shenron decks. Again, unfortunate. But you can either draw 2 cards, choose one of your battle cards and it gets plus 10,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn, or choose one of you and your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier, then choose the rest of you and your opponent's cards in the battle area ignoring barrier and shuffle them into their owner's decks. So the first one, draw 2 cards. I think this is really good against like the Shenron hand control decks or maybe even droids, where you can start regaining some advantage the way you don't just lose. Helps make those matchups much easier. Then you can give something plus 10,000 power to the end of your opponent's next turn. So, for example, you play the Deadly Defender Xeno Goku. That's like the Vegito for black. That's only 15k, and make him a 25k till the end of your opponent's next turn. That could be good. Or you can essentially reset the board by selecting him in one of your opponent's cards and shuffling the rest of them back. They can be very good against aggro matchups, maybe something like Veggies or Storm, etc. Next up, number 4, we have Vegeta striving to be the best. This is my favorite card right now from this set. I wish I could put it higher, but I think the other cards are just going to have a bigger impact on the meta. However, this is a 2-drop yellow card. Auto, when you play this card, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards with barrier and rest mode, ignoring barrier, and KO it. If you KO'd it, choose up to one of your energy and switch to active mode. So, if you KO a barrier card with it, you get to untap once. He essentially only costs you 1 energy. You just can't play him until turn 2 or later. It's really good. The key thing here is, yes, they do have to be in rest mode, and that sucks, but he KOs deadly defenders, and he KOs the Vegito just immediately. You don't have to waste resources trying to get over it, and that's very important, because now they can't play Protect the Castle, and essentially have a free Senzu Bean every turn by attacking into that Vegito, or that Deadly Defender 18, or whatever. Just immediately kill it, and move on to attacking their leader. So, this is another card. If these future rares end up really cheap shortly after release, I'd make sure to pick up your playset. Number 3, we have Body Change Ginyu. This is a 3-drop 15k battle card. Auto, when you play this card, choose all Ginyu Force cards in your battle area, and they get plus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. So, it is worth noting, he is Ginyu Force. He gives himself plus 10k. So, he immediately comes into play as a 3-drop 25k attacker. It's very good. Activate main. Place this card in your owner's drop area. Play this card in your opponent's battle area from its owner's drop area with its skills negated. And then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 20,000 power or less, other than Body Change Ginyu, gain control of it, and switch it to active mode. It's insanely good. Alright, I'm going to play this 25k attacker, pressure you, place this card in my drop area, take your battle card, switch it to active mode, and then attack you. It's a lot of pressure, especially in like a chain attack deck, where you're going to chain attack this into play, and you've just gotten 3 attackers for 4 energy, maybe only 2. That's nuts. I think this card's really good, and I think it's going to be a staple in red decks for the foreseeable future. Number 2, we get to the Silver Bullets. You guys knew these had to be the top 2. I do have Borgos at number 2 simply because it's easier to deal with than the next one. So at number 2, we have Burnished Bonds Borgos. This is a 1-drop blue card. When you play this card, draw a card, so it places itself auto once per turn to your opponent's turn. If your opponent switches their energy to active mode using a non-awakened skill, choose up to one of your opponent's energy and place it in their drop area. So, as we all know, this hurts Storm a lot. This hurts things like Starter Coup a lot. Makes it to where your opponent can't really play unyielding. They can't use Senzu Beans aggressively. This has the potential to seriously warp the format. So this had to go number 2, simply because number 1, I think, for sure, somewhat warps the format. Whereas this is much easier to deal with, say, a Crisis Crusher or a Goten Family of Justice, or maybe a Beerus Auto, the leader. There's plenty of things that can deal with this card. It's not as big a problem as the number 1 on our list, which is Son Goku striving to be the best. Most hyped card in the set because people are excited to have the potential to play in a world without Storm. Granted, I don't think Storm's completely dead. I just don't think it's gonna. I don't think it'll quite rule the roost like it has been. Kinda. It is a 2-cost 10k barrier. Your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 2 or less can't attack. So this essentially makes Storm null and void. It makes them play a different game where they're attacking you with Bardock, Will of Irons, and Power Charge Bardocks, and their Overwhelms instead of their little guys that can't generate advantage from Goten, etc., etc. This also slows down red strategies. They can't play Kaba. They can't attack with Intensifying Power Trunks. It slows down veggies. They can't attack with Green Caulifla. They can't attack with the Green Kabas, etc. The red Kale is a 2-drop. This eliminates most aggro strategies. Now granted, red has the potential to evolve and be able to still be aggro, regardless of this being in existence. And Storm does have answers to this in the Overwhelm Bardock and a couple other things. But of course this had to be number 1. It has the most potential to warp the format. It's going to be an expensive card for a little while. At least a little while, if not forever. So this could deter people from picking them up and sideboarding them or mainboarding them. However, had to be number 1. Alright guys, that's it for my top 10 Clash of Fates cards heading into the release of the set. Hopefully you guys pick up all your boxes tomorrow. I don't. I pick up singles. I'm going to pick up my singles when they drop. That's just my personal thing. But if you guys like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I try to do daily uploads or get some of the other guys on the team to upload and get something out daily. A few days ago we had regional winner Dylan Warren upload his Oob deck he's been running, tearing through his locals with. And that was pretty cool. Uploaded a bunch of deck profiles. I'm trying to bring you guys some other non-deck profiles, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. We also do live stream on Twitch every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. You guys should go check that out. There will be links in the description. We do have a Patreon with articles that go up every Thursday if y'all want to read those. They only cost $1 and they go free after 2 days. You can just go read them for free 2 days after they come out. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Stay elite.